return after these messages.
Hey, what's all the fuss, Penguin? Expecting company?
Oh, yes. The lucky winners of the post-cereal SeaWorld sweepstakes. Yippee!
You could win a trip to SeaWorld when you enter the sweepstakes on the free poster of Shamu, inside specially marked boxes of honeycomb and super golden crisp cereal. Winners get to meet Shamu, and all the winter get SeaWorld stickers.
Yeah.
Details on specially marked boxes. Odds of winning determined by entries received. For free entry, write Post P.O. Box 853A, Churchill, Maryland, 21690. Maybe you'll win.
Twizzlers make me very happy. I love the way they taste so chewy. Twizzlers make me very happy.
We love the way they taste so fruity, so chewy, so happy and oh so juicy.
Twizzlers make me very happy.
Twizzlers make your mouth so very happy.
Oh, so happy.
Milk it does!
Milk does body.
Milk it does a body good.
Pass it on.
Check it out!
It's so cool for hanging out. It helps you grow up big and tall.
It's good for kids.
It does. Hey, Mr. Moo, what do you say?
Fresh moo juice makes my day.
Milk, it does a body good.
Pass it on.
Milk it does.
Milk it does a body.
Milk it does a body good.
Pass it on. Pass it on.
The night starts ordinary with forever friends. It's extraordinary. Here's Bushy Tail, Cozy Tail, and Snowy Tail too.
Each sold separately.
Powder Tail and Rosy Tail came to see you. All dolled up with forever friends. Making long tails always makes us smile. Looks so right with forever friends. 'Cause now we're all dolled up with style.
Plushy Tail comes with everything you see here. Other Forever Friends sold separately. New from Kenner.
We will return after these messages.
For batteries not included.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin. Can you and I be friends? I really...
Everybody out!
Then, one day, we found an old treasure map. Let's read.
Teddy Ruxpin comes with illustrated book and cassette from Worlds of Wonder.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies, the part of this complete breakfast that goes...
Okay. Sorry about that. I hope I sound okay. Been doing a bunch of computer stuff and inadvertently broke a lot of stuff. If I sound like trash, please let me know. Okay, hey Jessica Jen, good to see you. Something else here too. Just noticed my look like the YouTube chat is showing up on screen. Not a huge deal, I can still see it. Give me more on YouTube. Those adverts. That must be what one looks like in taking special mushrooms. Yeah, that's the 80s. All the commercials were insane. Those are actually, that's how I started my YouTube channel. That's like basically the first video compilation I have up. I found a bunch of VHS tapes at my parents' house, and I used to record Saturday morning cartoons, like when I had to play, like, you know, baseball or soccer or whatever was going on the weekend. I didn't want to miss cartoons, so I recorded them. I found them. I didn't care about the cartoons, the commercials, or what I ended up watching, you know, as an adult, and they always make me laugh. I like seeing the original SeaWorld stuff too, like back when it was okay to, you know, torture animals or whatever. win a contest. Hopefully I sound better than I have. I've been playing with my computer a lot. Did some software upgrades that kind of alluded to it on Genstream. It's stuff you're not really supposed to do on this ancient computer I have. I'm using a Mac Pro from 2009, which at the time it was a beast. It's getting very old. I did some stuff. A bunch of way smarter people have made some software where you can kind of trick the newest Mac OS to run on these. And in a lot of cases, that's not a good idea, because if the computer's that old, it's not powerful enough. But this thing's like maxed out from 2009, so it's still decent. It's not the best. So hopefully my stream's not stuttering or anything either, because normally, the other thing too, the side effect I ran into, I wanted to stream earlier this week, but, and stop me if this is boring, but I had Windows on another hard drive on this computer, and when I did all this stuff to make the new Mac OS work, it broke Windows. So I can't boot in the Windows now, and that's where all my stream stuff was. So basically luckily I'd streamed on here before, so I had the basic template, so I've just been rebuilding it and kind of changing things. Hopefully it's a little better. And I ordered some stuff to do the final like hardware upgrade on this machine before I have to get rid of it. I can probably get another year out of it. Some more memory and a graphics card, and hopefully that'll let me stream a little longer on the Mac side, because it is annoying jumping back and forth between windows in here. Yes, PC stands for personal computer, nothing else. Let's see, Gorilla BFF. I remember recording things in VHS tapes. I used to make music video mixtapes. That's cool. Well, if I ever thought of doing that. I used to do it with cassette tapes, like, you know, before Napster was a thing. We had like a radio station, you know, I mean, like most, you could call in certain shows, certain nights, and request songs. So I would call and request stuff that I didn't have. Like, I remember requesting Nirvana a few times, and I would just hit record on my stereo that had the radio going through it. So I'd kind of made my own mixtapes, my own bootleg radio mixtapes. And yeah, actually the first, I guess technically the first video I edited, I had 2 VCRs and a cassette, a Walkman. Yeah, I had a Walkman, and I just had like all these adapters, and so I would play things through like a camcorder and a VCR, well, one of the VCRs, and I was making everything record on the one, so I'd basically cut together like a stupid video and put music over it. I guess that was my first adventure in video editing. Much easier with software. See, give me more. Even though I'm born in 1992, my family used VHS until like the mid-2000s. Never bothered with DVD. Yeah, I mean, VHS stuck around. I kind of got into DVD on the early side, I guess. I mean, we still had VHS. God, we still, even now at my parents' house, there's still several VCRs plugged up, still blinking at 12 o'clock. But we even had, I think we got it from Sam's Club, like in mid to late 90s. It's one of those dual deck VCRs. And that one, actually, that one's still hooked up. I saw my brother using it last time I was visiting. But it's basically a dubbing machine. You put the primary VHS on the left side, and then put a blank one on the right side. And there's this gigantic button with a red light on it. You push it in the middle, and it would just duplicate the tape. So we did a lot that way. And even before then, I remember I had to, you know, like when I did the video editing, I had 2 VCRs like strung together, and copy tapes that way. Yeah, that's smart to do the music videos. I never thought about that. I think I recorded a few because they always played certain videos at certain times. Seemed like in the late 90s. So Radiohead, Paranoid Android. I think that came on every night at the same time. So I remember I finally caught it, saved it. Hey, over on YouTube, Tanya Fraser, Hong Kong Jay, Hong Kong back at you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Gorilla on YouTube. Until maybe 10 years ago, the 80s got no musical respect. Looking back, it was actually quite innovative, new wave. Yeah, I mean, it's got a very distinct sound that a lot of people kind of, try to replicate. And everything kind of had that distinct sound. I think it was, somebody had it may have been Casio that had like the first synth chip, and they had like a patent on it. So that's why everything kind of had that same sound for a while. But yeah, I mean, lots of good music, 80s and 90s. When I had radio stations at work, like if we'd build a Pandora or Spotify or whatever, it would usually be all 80s and 90s stuff, that we could safely play. Yeah, just a Jen making mixtapes for your BFFs, the memories. Yeah, we did. My friends and I traded that a lot back and forth. Thanks everybody for joining. I'm still working the kinks out of this new computer setup. Somehow I've broken YouTube chat. I can see it, it's just not showing up on the screen. So as long as you got your chat window open, you can see it. But what Twitch people probably can't see it, but I'll read it out. Checking a few things right here. Oh yeah, thanks for the Tanya says love your background. I forgot to even point that out. So yes, it's I've got a Christmas background. Let me move my microphone. From Street Fighter. It's a Street Fighter 3 background. Very festive and very punchable and kickable. I was thinking about that when I was setting everything up. I was like, oh yeah, I needed to change it to something winter. And I was like, what do I have? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a Street Fighter stage. It's got a Christmas tree somewhere, and I found it. So I've got everything messed up now. Still shudder over my Aquanet 80s hair, crispy hair. I made that joke at work a few times. I was like, why do people want their hair so crispy? That was the thing. I mean, I was around for it. I was born in 81. I mean, I know. I even had I had a mullet when it wasn't ironic. So all these kids doing it now, I'm like, I did it for real. Oh yeah, you mentioned that earlier, Tanya. So in Australia, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. That is crazy. Or 41 degrees Celsius for the big brain people. That's I do have a science background, so I do understand the metric system, and after using it quite a bit, I don't know why we don't just switch to it here. I mean, I guess, people just don't want to change. Like, it makes so much more sense. I mean, even like in my daily life, the most stuff when I think of things, like I think of it in the metric system, you know, even as an American, except for like, you know, temperature, you know, I still think of in Fahrenheit, and I guess length, like, you know, feet and inches, that's easier for me to visualize. But like, yeah, if it's liquid, milliliters, and I guess, you know, weight, kilograms or pounds, like it's kind of interchangeable. I can kind of visualize both. But they tried to switch us in I think the late, maybe early, sometime in the 70s. They definitely tried to switch us to the metric system in the US, and it was like, everybody's like, nah. I think up until recently, I'm trying to remember, I was driving somewhere. I still saw some of the old signs. The old highway signs that had kilometers on them. In somewhere in Tennessee. Like, I remember there was a spot that still had them, but I think they're probably gone now. That's been several years ago. Prussia, hey, how's it going on Twitch? My brother was born in 81. He had crispy hair as a teenager. Yes, even some of the guys had crispy hair. Oh yeah, give me more. Air Canada flight. Boeing 767 turned into a 150-ton glider after the pilots mucked up the conversion during fuel calculations. Oh crap, yeah. In aviation, altitudes are still done in feet. Only Russia and China use meters. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, 1970s metric system came about in schools. Try to convert us. If you use it enough, it makes sense, but I mean, it's hard. I mean, what you learn is what you learn, so it's hard to unlearn that. I get it. I think liquid, like ounces and everything, like I can't visualize that in the US system. I just think I'm so used to like milliliters and liters. So actually, if I see ounces, I'll actually convert that in my head. You know, close to metric. But that's just because I've used it quite a bit. But yeah, Prussia, thanks for joining us on Twitch. Just kind of chatting right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do quite yet. Hopefully the stream is stable. If it gets jittery for YouTube or Twitch, please let me know. Just want to make sure I'm doing, like, everything's a little bit new. I'm on the same system, but the software is all different. So I'm afraid that it's going to do something stupid and mess up. Like if I sound bad or if the video gets real choppy, just tell me, please. Otherwise, I'll assume everything's good. Twitch. YouTube looks like it's happy. Twitch is saying I'm streaming at too high of a bit rate, but I don't think it's a problem. Give me more. I always smile on European taxes when I see U.S. fuel prices and you complain about them going over $5 a gallon. Yeah, like I remember the first time I went to the UK, that was in 2000. And I remember it was on like a group trip through school. I remember somebody was like, wow, gas is cheap here. It's only like a $1.78, and I was like, I looked up, I was like, well, that's in pounds, and also that's a liter, not gallon. And they were like, oh, and I kind of did the conversion in my head, and even then, it was like, I think it may have been like at least $4 a gallon when it was like $1 here. So yeah, and when we went, I forget how much it was when Jen and I went to London when the first time. That was late 2022, I think. I guess that's when like the gas was completely out of hand. I think it may have been like $8 a gallon. I think. I can't remember. I remember doing the conversion. I don't know if that's the right one, but it was outrageous. Like I remember it was in the news while we were in London. It was pretty ridiculous. Tony says we pay $1.98 for a liter of fuel here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, compared to the rest of the world, it's pretty cheap in the U.S. It was dirt cheap when I was a teenager. In the, can't remember when that was. Exactly what year? It was like 98 or 99. I remember I delivered pizza, and I did it at the perfect time. I think gas was like it was like 75 cents a gallon. I think it may have gotten cheaper, but I remember it was like that for pretty much the whole time I delivered pizza, so that was perfect. Let's see, give me more. Bottom line for me is when you study mechanical engineering, you juggle weird units for weird physical phenomena. Yeah, I mean, if you do anything science, I mean, you're going to be doing, well, both, but yeah, you're going to touch a lot of metric. Yeah, I mean, if you jump into either system, like, you know, as long as you can visualize it, you can adapt. I mean, I do, I think I'm not the best at links in metric, but you know, decent. Yeah. I know if an American tells me it's going to be 32 degrees, I'm going to be putting on shorts. Yeah. I can mostly convert temperature ballpark. I never remember the full formula, so I usually have to pull out my phone or something. I'm like, oh yeah. But I mean, I know 25 is room temperature, so you know, go up and down from there. 25 Celsius is like 72 Fahrenheit. So you just have to use it. And I thought that was odd when we were in the UK. Actually, it sounds like they probably use the biggest mix out of every country. Like lots of metric, lots of imperial, US system, and then stone and stuff like that. I don't even know what system that's from. But I'd hear that like they would talk about driving distance in miles, and I was like, oh. Yeah. Yeah, 32 0 Celsius, so no shorts. Oh yeah. Sorry, skipped one. Gas very expensive in 2022. I don't drive much. Not sure of prices today. But that's when everybody was going nuts about it. Yeah, we were there during that time, so all the Tesla owners got to laugh, chuckle to themselves a little, maybe. Sorry, still clicking around here. I'm paranoid everything's gonna break. Everything's okay now, but do have some new computer parts coming in. I'm gonna upgrade this antique one more time. Hopefully get at least another year out of it, and probably be time to upgrade. Keep putting it off because I don't know. I've pretty much always been an Apple user. I guess we can thank Steve Jobs for installing all the Apple IIs in schools in the 80s. I think that's what got me hooked. I use Windows some. I use it for, generally I've always used it for work, and school at some point, because, nobody cared about Apple in the late 90s, early 2000s. But, yeah, I don't know if I want to do Apple Silicon or, do an Intel Mac one more time, like build my own. But we'll see if Mac OS is still supported on Intel. It may not be. Give me more. My significant other's flying to Singapore tomorrow. He won't be freezing except from the AC, which we really don't do in Germany in private homes, so summer is fun. That's something I remember. We went all over Europe, so it may not have been exclusive to one place, but first time I went to Europe was in 2000, so that was London, Paris, and a big chunk of Italy. And I don't remember air conditioning be a thing anywhere, or ice, but I feel like it is a thing in London now. I don't know if it's something that changed or if I just didn't notice it the first go around. But definitely no ice. And it was like, at least at the time, like, Europe definitely doesn't drink soda like Americans do. And I remember, what was I? I was at least 18, which is not the drinking age in the US, but it was in, I guess, everywhere we went in Europe. So I remember looking, I'm like, I could buy a Coke for like $4, or I can buy a beer for like $2. I'm like, I'll be buying beer. So I just drank beer that whole trip. It was cool. And yeah, when my dad went to London, he hired a car and was driving about 100 miles. He was told, you need to stay somewhere. We can drive for over 300 kilometers just to get to places. Yeah. I will say the public transportation in the UK is the best I've seen. Like, when every time we visited, it was like, there was a train or the underground or something. I mean, we were able to get everywhere. We went, and we didn't just stay in London either. I mean, we went to Brighton and Windsor, Birmingham, lots of places, and it was so easy. Like, if you flew to a major city in the US, like, going beyond that, good luck. I mean, we're a much larger country too, but we don't have the train system. Gorilla. I'm Canadian, but I need ice for cold drinks. Not enjoyable without ice. Yeah, a lot of people are, I'm not big on ice, honestly. It's probably unusual for an American. As long as it's like kind of cool, I'm good with it. Overrun. Which, Russia. I remember my brother got mad when it went up to $1.50 a gallon. Yeah, I remember I worked a job. I think this was like early mid 2000s, and there was a window that would it was like up in the top, almost touching the ceiling actually, and I could see the gas station next door, and I could see the price like perfectly through the window. And I remember it hit $1.50 one day, and I was like, oh, I'm like, it's never coming back down, is it? It did, but not for long. European beer hits different. Yeah, I've always heard that Guinness tastes totally different if you actually get it in Ireland. I don't know if it's like only Ireland, or if you get it like in the UK, if it's different. But I guess it's like the way they store it, or I guess the nitrogen or something. It's supposed to be different here in the U.S. I mean, I like Guinness, but I've never had it actually. I'd like to go to the actual Guinness, brewery, have some there. Let's see. Or actually, here. Tanya, the red buses in London really freaked Dad out. He said those drivers are bloody crazy. I think any big city, like you just have to be crazy to get around. I think like when we got cars in New York, it's like just don't look, just get us there. I don't care how you do it. If we watch, we'll freak out. Let's see. We get caught up on the YouTube here. Used to be great in Toronto, but where I live, but not anymore. That stinks. Also, German train system can be awful regarding punctuality. Ironic. I know. Yeah, it is ironic. Doesn't sound very German. And once prices go up, they don't go back down for long. No, I mean, once they know that people will pay them, they're like, okay, let's just keep them there. I mean, in Australia, we drink our beer cold, but I heard in London it's not cold. I guess it depends on where you get it. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't really need my stuff cold, so like, if they gave it to me like warm, I probably wouldn't have noticed. I do remember in 2000 when I first went, I remember everything being warm, and I mean, it was the summer too, so I wanted a cold drink, but everything was room temperature or warmer. Precious. Sounds like you had a near catastrophic car chase. Yeah, some very stressful car rides with people screaming some Eastern European language or something that I did not recognize. Very, very scary. But hey, they got us there, so mission accomplished. I hardly fly, but I've been okay with plane times when I do. Yeah, that's hit or miss. I love and hate flying. Like, when everything goes smoothly and everything's on time, it's great. It's usually expensive, but I hate, well, it depends. Like, if you go through a small airport, totally fine. And if you can get through security and get everything over with, cool. But for some reason, every time we fly, like, I always get pulled out of line. They always swab my hands. They always inspect my luggage. I don't know what they think I have. And I've like even gone out of my way. Like I make sure anything that could possibly be a problem's in my carry-on or in my check bag. And it doesn't matter. They always pull me. You're on YouTube. Sweet baby Ray-Bans. Hey Doc, sorry. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thank you again for the super chat on the video earlier. I appreciate that. I think it's the actual the super thanks. I think it's the first one I've actually gotten on a video, so that was cool. Thank you. Give me more. They should try their catastrophic car chase on the German Autobahn. Get chased off the left lane. I actually just watched a video of the Autobahn. Somebody had an SUV very similar to mine, a big American one, and they drove it as fast as they could, faster than I would feel safe driving that tank, but they did it. It was cool. Hey, we're on YouTube. Neutral 69, you're not playing games today. I'll probably play some games. Yeah, we're just kind of chit-chatting right now. Usually how I start out. I'll start out and, we'll talk a little bit. Oh, hey, Tanya, thank you for the super chat, or super sticker. I appreciate that. Anything like that definitely helps support my channel. I want to start doing more. If you're not familiar with it too, so if you're on the YouTube side, you're on the Dr. Bad Vibes channel. That is technically the video game channel, even though I'm not playing video games right now. I probably will in a little bit. Dr. Bad Vibe Speaks. That is, I'm going to put the link in the chat, actually. That is the newer channel I have that is basically just me talking like this, where I find stupid stuff. Usually stupid news. I don't really have any good news today. I've kind of been busier than usual this week. But do want to stream more. And the support definitely helps. I appreciate that. Put this link here. Emojis will get in my way. But thank you again, Tanya and Sweet Baby Ray Bans. See. Way over on Twitch. Just a Jen. You have the same thing I do. We must look like drug mules at the airport. I know, it's seriously crazy. Like, I don't know what I look like. I mean, I come into the airport just like this. I usually, even this, I wear this hoodie a lot. I take this off because, you know, hoodies are usually a problem. Oh, hey. I have my scenes all messed up, but thank you. It hid the alert there. Sorry about that. Got it fixed now. But yeah, thanks again for the super chat. Yeah, like I like how every stream I talk about flying somehow. Like the biggest shock. So I was talking a little bit about the European trip in 2000. So that was the summer of 2000, and I didn't fly again until the summer of 2008. So those are two very different experiences. Because we used to fly a lot, like growing up, because a lot of my family was in California. So my grandmother especially, she'd go back and forth a lot. And it was a smaller airport, but I mean, I remember just, we would just walk on the tarmacs. I mean, a lot of times we just walk onto the airplane, make sure she was settled, and then, you know, hug and get off and, you know, wave by as it took off. I mean, and so, you know, that's not a thing now unless you're flying private, I guess. But yeah, when I flew in 2008, that was a rude awakening. I think I started in, I think I flew out of LAX. Yeah, I did. And went through Texas, and yeah, that was the whole thing. Actually, yeah, one of my videos on the Dr. Bad Vibe Speaks channel, I talk about that. Some guy was about to crap his pants and took a dump as the plane was taking off, and he got a whole TSA citation for it. So I actually witnessed somebody poop that broke federal law. Anyway, back to the chat. Let's see. Give me more. I got that hand swab once in Leipzig, which was funny because I was actually on a tank disposal site. So I was generally concerned whether there was an infinitesimal chance of having gunpowder on me. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you had anything like flammable, it'd probably light that up. Yeah, gorilla. My sister always gets checked at the airport. They put me in straight through, no frisking, no searching. Yeah, everybody else, like, everybody I'm with, they go right through. And then it's like, I get pulled for whatever reason. I guess, I don't know. I've got everybody's batteries in my pack, usually. So I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. Some Autobahns are literally tourist attractions for rich foreigners. They yeah, crazy cars play Formula One. Yeah, I think there was some, well, I mean, lots of horrible accidents, people being stupid. The dude in the Portaloo was so funny. Yeah, that cracked me up. And that was a genuine reaction when I was filming that on stream. Like, I knew the story and I saw the whole porta potty thing. I did not see how they stopped the car. Like, if other people in the stream, if you haven't watched it, I do recommend that one because that made me laugh a lot. That experience, but I am an aviation nerd. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I talked about this before too. I did work on my pilot's license. I mean, it's, way before I met Jen, but I had I was fortunate where I had a brief period where I was able to take off a long time from working, and I traveled and did stuff, and I was near an airport, and I was like, hey, I could probably get a pilot's license, and it was fun. But then, once the reality of how much all that costs and everything, I'm like, it's cool, but I'm never gonna own a plane, so what's the point? Yeah, it was a private license, it just the VFR. Like I only visual. I didn't do any instruments kind of things. I didn't get like super far. I think I got to like right where I was going to do the solo flight, which I wanted to do, but it just coincidentally, like, that's when I was like, I had to be like, well, I probably have to go back to work or else I'll be broke and homeless. And that's about when I was like, it's like, I want to keep doing this, but it's just so expensive. Yeah, unbelievable about the law breaking poop. Yeah, I mean, it was like right beside me the whole time I'm watching that, and I'm just like, what? And the flight attendant was so mad too. Like, she knew that he was in there. Maybe, yeah. The sniffer dogs today are incredible. They can smell money. That's pretty cool. See, I knew someone in uni who went to the U.S. from Germany, did their PPL there, and it was still cheaper than having it done in Germany. Huh. You can get it done pretty cheap. I mean, the license part wasn't that bad. At least when I did it, that was like, over 10 years ago. But find lots of people to do it. And I think, if I remember correctly, like, I have a friend that's my brother's old roommate, so I'm not like super tight with him, but I know him. He's got his PhD in aerospace engineering, and he had his private license for a while, and I think he got to the part where he could instruct. I think we talked about it at one point, like he was going to hook me up cheap. But I mean, he works all the time. Anya J. Hope Jen is okay. She's under stress reading Lick Spittle's book. Yeah, she's good. I mean, I think the book's pissing her off. She's good. Say my live keeps freezing. Is anybody else noticing that? That's one thing I'm afraid of. Is the live freezing up? I do know that YouTube kind of runs ads whenever it feels like it. So if you're on the YouTube side, it could be that. Any kind of service doggos deserve all the treats in the world. Police dogs are awesome. Say it's freezing there too. Well, huh. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me see what's up. Huh. YouTube is freezing. Twitch seems fine. Okay. I do use basically a service that split. Well, it doesn't split, but it rebroadcasts the stream. So maybe something's going on there that's messing with YouTube. It's acting like it's okay, like on the software side. Yeah. Second here. Pull it up on my phone. Yeah, over on Twitch. Russia and Jen says Twitch is fine. Freaking technology, right? It's been me all week. Like, I thought everything started out cool. Like, I put this new, the new Mac OS on my computer, and like all this stuff started working again. I'm like, awesome. And then, it's like slowly, I've been realizing things have problems. Oh. Weird. It may be a YouTube thing. Hopefully it'll just resolve itself. Oh, hang on one sec. Yeah, give me 1 second here. It something happened. It may have been the internet, my end. 1 second here, see if it's. Okay, I think it's going back to normal. Yeah, I think something messed with my connection. I just saw. So, like, there's a pretty decent lag from when I'm like actively speaking versus like when the data hits and the video comes up. So, yeah, I think I just saw what people were talking about. Put it in the chat. Yeah, some people. I looked up and like YouTube like disappeared on my end. Look. Oh. Jen just texted me. I think she was trying to airdrop a file, and that must have freaked my computer out. AirDrop works over Wi-Fi. I need to. I'm in the room I'm in. I can't use Ethernet, but yeah, I think when the AirDrop tried to see if I wanted it, I think it stopped my internet for a second. Okay, yeah, because all my there's all kinds of like charts and stuff when you stream. Everything looks like it's okay now. So hopefully, I know there's a pretty decent lag, but hopefully it's working now. Just let me, if it starts acting up, just let me know. This is still kind of a rebuild, but it did give me a chance to redo the stream format. So as you can see here, I can point to it. You know, my main chat screen here, a little more organized. You can see what's going on. Except YouTube's not showing up in the chat, so that's a new problem. Figure that out. See, hey Jennifer, I always assume it's my wonky Wi-Fi when streams go pear-shaped. Yeah, it was my wonky Wi-Fi, but thanks for letting me know. Clear bacon. See you again. Very, very weird. But you still don't have it? Stream shouldn't have ended. Oh yeah, the thing with YouTube. The YouTube stream lags behind. Because YouTube will play ads automatically, and it's one of the big differences between Twitch and YouTube streaming. So if there's an ad on Twitch, you kind of just get, it pushes the stream up into a little corner. On YouTube, it basically pauses the stream, and then when the ads end, it picks back up where you left. So if it plays enough ads and you're on long enough, like your stream can actually be way behind, or sometimes you can just pause it, which, I mean, there's a pro and con to that. Like if you join a stream late, you could just move it back to the beginning and watch, what you missed rather than watch it live. But yeah, the whole commercial thing on YouTube, they're like, they're fighting against ad blockers so hard. It's really silly, honestly. They've made things so complicated. Honestly, the ads got so bad on YouTube, like for like our home accounts, I can't remember how long now. A couple years at least. Like I broke down. I got YouTube Premium because I just got so sick of the ads, and we watched so much YouTube. It's like ridiculous. I know that's not the best solution, especially for everybody, but oh yeah. As soon as I said YouTube plays ads and Twitch ads started, yeah, I know. I actually watch YouTube a lot. I work remotely, so I watch Twitch a lot too when I'm, in my office up here. And I've thought about getting like the premium Twitch is Twitch Nitro. I've thought about getting that just to end all the ads, but it's a lot more. It's like 15 a month or something. If it was like 10, I'd probably do it. Oh, hey, Jennifer and Just a Jen are the same person. I didn't realize that. Thanks for telling me. The Sweet Baby Ray-Bans. I refreshed, but the show's stream ended. Let me send a chat. Resisted premium for this one this long. Why not a little longer? I know, right? Streaming services are out of hand. Honestly, that's something I've thought of doing. We've talked about canceling, like, I don't even know what all we have now, honestly. Probably all of them. We never use Hulu, and we barely use Disney Plus, so I'm down to cancel those and just do Twitch and YouTube. YouTube ads can be pretty funny though. I used to get tons of ads for. I hate this stupid emoji on YouTube. It like blocks. I'm trying to read here. I used to get tons of ads for huge man pants on chins and Beebs Kelly's videos. It's weird. I know. I'd like to see what kind of ads it tries to play for me now. It's usually just like nerd shit, like computer stuff. Game trailers, I guess. Giant pants, Meg loves. Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's funny. It is weird how it's almost like our phones do listen to us, because there's stuff I've definitely not searched, like typed into the computer or anything. Like I've talked to Jen about something and then I'll see an ad for it and I'm just like, what the, how'd you know? The algorithm wants you to dress like Meg. Man, algorithm don't tell us how to live. I've experienced that. Always weird. Yeah, like when you talk about stuff and then you see an ad for it, it's kind of like, is my phone listening? It could just have enough context clues to be able to predict things better that we can ourselves, but I don't know. But the worst is if you search for something or look at, look at something on Amazon. I've done that before. I've been like, oh, wonder how much a tent would cost to go camping. And then it's nothing but like camping and tent ads, like every time I use Google. Go on Twitch. Prussia. I heard those 10,000 trigger words that make Facebook apps start listening to what we were saying. Yeah, I mean, there's probably all kinds of stuff. But yeah, Facebook's pretty bad. Like, I've been on Facebook a long freaking time. It was like way back when only certain colleges could get on it. I was one of the somewhat early ones. And so I've had the account before it was like totally awful and I've just kept it. But, and it's like, I hate it now. I don't want to be on Facebook, but like, it's like, I just have that one handful of friends. That's how we like keep in touch. And I found a few, and then it's like, I found some groups, and then Marketplace is always like showing me like cool, stupid stuff I don't need. So it's like, I want to delete it, but I can't. And yeah, if you're on all the other stuff, it's like, it's already out there. And the craziest stuff that came out with Facebook was, I can't remember when it came out and exactly how it came out, but it was maybe it was something with the election, I don't know, whatever it was, one of the elections, that they build like shadow profiles for people. I guess they gather enough information to get your name, and then they realize you're not on Facebook, so they kind of build a profile that's there, but not for the public. And I guess if you ever get online, or they can sell that data to other people, it's really creepy. Man, I clocked out at MySpace. Well, that's funny. We were talking about MySpace last night. I actually had a stalker on MySpace, and I didn't even know it. Like they saw me. This was like late in MySpace too. This was probably like 2008 or 9, and it was somebody that saw me at work, and I guess she was sending me messages, and they were going to my spam, so I didn't even know. Not that it mattered. I wouldn't have responded anyway. It was a whole thing, but yeah, I guess she like cussed me out and like all this stuff, and like one of her friends came up and apologized. Public schools. I did my undergrad at UVA, so we got on kind of early. It was, I think it was like as I was graduating, so it was probably like 2003. It could have even been a little later. I think I lived there for like another 6 months, so it may have even been after I graduated. Let's see, over on YouTube. Having trouble on the YouTube side. Let's see, give me more. I remember good times on ICQ in the late 2000s. Man, you're like the only other person I've talked to that remembers ICQ. Like I still have it doesn't work anymore. Like I still have my number somewhere. Like for some reason where I lived, we were like the only people. It was just like just the random towns around us. We all used ICQ for some reason, and I used it for years. And then when I went to college, everybody else had AOL. They had AOL Instant Messenger, and I was like, not. So it was just so weird. Everybody used like this whole other thing I didn't know about. I was like, who's still using AOL? But that was the more popular one. But yeah, I liked ICQ better because you could actually send. You could send offline messages, and AOL couldn't do that at the time. You could like attach files. I mean, it was kind of like email in a way, like faster email. I had that sound effect. I'd play it to trigger everybody's nostalgia. The little oh. Just I met my fiance on MySpace. Actually, that's cool. Did they have the best animated GIFs and sparkles on their page? They have their page made up really nice. And you're like, gotta marry that. Accepted at Dartmouth and Carleton, but I didn't go. Regrets. That's awesome. I mean, that you got accepted. I'm not sure what ICQ is. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like most people don't know what it is. It looked like it was really big in China, and then in like weird pockets in other places. It was more common. I mean, it was not common at all in the U.S. from what I can gather. Like somehow people, I guess where I lived, you couldn't get AOL because it was a long distance phone number. So everybody had like local dial up. So I think for some reason that it may have even been the provider we had. Maybe they suggested ICQ. I don't know. So everybody in that area, we all had ICQ, and then everywhere else, everybody was using AOL. But at some point, they did merge the two, and I think that's when I kind of let my number fade away. Just oh, he had those Aqua Teen Hunger Force memes that made me laugh. So here we are. Good job.
Yeah, boy. I won't make sure you marry that girl.
The Meat Wad memes did it.
May just be a little ball of meat, but I'm so full of love.
I think ICQ's still a thing. I tried to mess with it, but I think if you didn't log in for so long, your number went away. So tried to make mine work again, but it's just it didn't recognize me. So mine faded away at some point. But there was something. Gosh, what was it? I opened up some old piece of software or an old, I think it was an old website just, a few weeks ago, to change my password or something, whatever it was. When I was clicking around, I clicked my profile and it had my instant messenger and ICQ handles or number in the profile. And I was like, damn, I haven't seen those in forever. Appreciate you watching. What if Harry met Meatwad?
Oh, hey, man, I hear you're a prince.
Oh yes, I'm Prince of Burger Paw.
Oh, yeah, man, that sounds fancy.
We may have a cartoon on our hands. Yeah. Yeah, the ICQ message. Had to I had to turn that off after so long.
Uh-oh.
So sound like a Teletubby or something. That was yeah, that brought back a memory also. So like I remember in college, like none of the dorms had air conditioning when I went. So it was all, you know, ancient buildings, and in the summer, especially you know, started in August. So I remember walking through like some of the main areas with all the dorm rooms. Everybody had all their windows open. You could hear like instant messenger like in every room just going nuts. You'd be late at night when it's real quiet. You just be walking through, you just feel blue, 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 blue. Everybody sending messages. It was kind of haunting. But it's funny though. I remember towards the end of college, like something, some phone came out. I think it was the T-Mobile Sidekick. It had like the screen that spun around. Not too unlike a graphing calculator, but horizontal. So it's like the screen flipped out. The screen was like it covered the whole thing, and then it like slid up or flipped around, and then you could like use it like a keyboard and chat. And I remember seeing that it had like instant messenger built into it, and I was like, wow. I was like, wouldn't that be cool if you had the internet all the time and you could just like instant message from anywhere? And here we are texting like all the time. Hey, Carrie Dad over on Twitch. Thanks for joining. We've been talking about old technology, old instant messaging for some reason, but we were all having nostalgia about it. Over on YouTube, give me more. My dorm room is basically a reptile enclosure. Huge non-openable glass front, oriented southwest, small hatch in the door you could open. Nickname was Monkey Cage. Yeah, so we were just talking about AOL Instant Messenger and ICQ. Most people I know don't remember ICQ or never used it. It was definitely more of a thing in China and Europe, I guess. Like almost no one I know in the US used it. I'm sure a lot of people did, but I mean, most people I've run into used it, AOL, and that was it. Yeah. Freaking, yeah, the dorm rooms, God, they got so hot too. I don't think any of them had AC until like right when I was about to graduate, and I was just like, lucky bastards. Marsh. I used to have a Palm Pilot, and I remember thinking, "Wow, I'm leaving in the future." Yeah, or living in the future. I know, right? I remember when. So I was always like an Apple person, and I guess kind of the precursor to the Palm Pilot, I think, or about the same time. The Apple Newton. That was basically their, um, uh, you know, Palm Pilot or whatever PDA. I actually had a couple. Now that I think about it, um, the yeah, I remember so many people had Palm Pilots. And, yeah, it was just like, wow, it's like you can ride on that thing. I think I know I did eBay it. I had a gosh, I used it for a while. Come to think about it, I had a some kind of Microsoft PDA that used some goofy version of like Windows CE, and I had actually used it for work and stuff, and I kept it until not even the iPhone. I couldn't get the iPhone where I lived for a while. I got the iPod Touch, and I think at some point they added like the two apps I needed, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I feel like if you were born before, I don't know, I guess before the 90s, like, I feel like technology, excuse me, technology changed so much as I went through school. Because, like, I mean, I'm sure it did for everybody if you really look at it, but it's just crazy to think. When I was in like kindergarten, first grade, we had one Apple II for the whole grade. And basically rotated people around to use it, really just to play Oregon Trail. And then, then we got more Apple IIs, and we actually did stuff with them later on. And, then eventually got the internet. And as I was finishing undergrad, like Wi-Fi was just becoming a thing. I remember like the school wasn't covered with Wi-Fi. We had like Wi-Fi lounges. So you had to go to like these designated areas to use the Wi-Fi, which it's like, who's that for? And, but then by the time I was in grad school, it was like, we all had a laptop and did everything on them, like the lectures and the testing, everything. And then as I finished that, like the iPhone came out. So it's like, you could kind of bookend my whole time in school with the Apple II and the iPhone. And it's just like crazy how much stuff advanced. Yeah. Computer labs and computer class. Now kids just know. I know, right? Like our kid was using, her iPad like immediately. She knows how to. What was it she was doing tonight? Like, well, yeah. Here's a great juxtaposition. So she had to read a book that she didn't have. She left it at school. And luckily, it was something I was like, oh, this is probably like something that's public domain or whatever. And yeah. So I found a PDF of the book she needed. So she was reading the chapter of her book on her iPad. And I remember when I was in fourth grade, that's when we got our first computer. It was an Apple II GS, which I still have. I want to do some stuff with that for YouTube. But I remember I had to do a book report, and I typed it on the computer because I hated writing. I typed it out and printed it. And my teacher got so mad at me for typing it rather than handwriting it. And I was like, seriously? I mean, I guess she thought that like I got like a family member to do it for me or something. So I was like, all right. It's like I just didn't want to write it. And so it's like I got punished for using the computer. I took forever to finish my undergrad. So long that I went from physical notebooks at the beginning to laptops at the end. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I started college, I remember there was like one dude. I don't remember what class it was. Maybe in chemistry. There was one guy that had a laptop. It was a huge. It was like intro chemistry. So there was like a gigantic class. It was like 400 people in this big auditorium. There was like one dude with a laptop in the middle. Everybody's like, what the hell's with Future Man there? Give me more. Am I horrible for thinking Palm Pilot sounds kind of suspicious and naughty? Nah, not really. It is kind of a messed up name when you think about it. Let's see. Marsh would be, kids nowadays will never understand the struggle. Having no Wi-Fi as our generations had to walk 10 miles barefoot in the snow to get to school. I know, it's crazy, right? Like, I've got unlimited 4G on my phone, and I can turn it into a hotspot whenever I need it. So it's like incredibly rare for me not to have internet now. It happens, but it's very rare. Carried out. I didn't have a computer in college, even though email and stuff was a thing. I wrote everything on a word processor that was like a glorified typewriter with a tiny screen. Oh, I remember those. Was it like the Brother system? Let me look here. Printed like a typewriter when you're done. kind of where they had these at Walmart for forever. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. See if I can pull up a thing here. Here we go. One of these things, right? I actually thought those things were cool. Actually, I want to show you something I have. It's not quite a word processor. I've got a collection of old computers. Some of them were actually mine at one point. And one of them, I got this one like after the fact. I put it away and haven't messed with it much since. I keep meaning I want to do some stuff with old tech stuff on YouTube. So this was like one of the later Apple IIs. It's the Apple IIc. So it's kind of a see it here. It's almost like a portable version in a way, except it still had a monitor, but it's got a little handle on it, and you can plug it up and carry it around. They even made it this thing is so rare and expensive. A better photo of it here. They made a kind of almost a portable version of it. It has like a crappy LCD screen you could get for it. I don't have the screen, but I do have that computer, and I want to. Well, it works. I want to set it up so I can take it to like a coffee shop or something, and freaking try to use it at Starbucks or whatever. But you can actually get Wi-Fi in that thing now. People still make parts for those. That's what's crazy. That's kind of what I want to make some videos of. This antique technology I have, like trying to use it today. Let's see. And give me more. I'm currently tracking the airplane in real time that my man will board tomorrow, just from a free website. The accessibility of any kind of info is insanely high. Yeah, it's crazy, the stuff you can find. It's like, I say this a lot. We have so much information available to us in these supercomputers that fit in our pockets, yet everybody's like dumber than ever. There's no excuse. Let's see. Marcia B. Holy crap, I wrote all my papers in college in a word processor too. My parents didn't see a point in getting a desktop computer. I mean, for a long time, that's all you needed. Back over on Twitch. Yeah, it was cool. You typed your paper on the screen, and then when you were ready, it was fun to see it print like an automatic typewriter. That's cool. I always thought those things were neat. I played with them in like Walmart. Never had one. I think a lot of I mean, I don't know about now, but I remember a lot of professional authors would still use those because or even a typewriter, because you didn't have the distractions that come with a computer. Yeah, going back to your earlier comment, Carrie Dad. I'm only a couple of years older than you are, but things changed so fast after the mid-90s. I'll repeat that in a second. Twitch has an ad playing, so they can't hear me. Yeah, I definitely remember those word processors. I never knew anybody actually had one, though. But definitely typewriters. Anymore. I was dumb in German high school, didn't know what a PDF was. Had to write a paper for the Avatar. Wrote that in Word, brought the doc file to the copy shop, which of course ran a different version. Oh yeah, that was the worst. I had that happen to me. Like I had a where I mainly used Apple. Like I had the Apple version of Office. It seems like whenever I copied those files over, it was always wrong. And then I if I ever had to print it, I realized I need to use the PDF. But yeah, I never had a word processor, but I definitely used a typewriter before. I remember, was it some point at my dad's office, I know he had at least one typewriter there. I think we still have a typewriter at my parents' house. It's probably that same one. I don't know. But it was like the crazy electric one that had the ball with all the letters on it, so you could type like crazy fast. I don't know, my grandmother had like an antique typewriter that was like the big circle buttons with the arms that flipped up and hit everything. Science fiction, yo, what's up? We're talking about technology that's probably older than you are. Lots of fun. Typewriters and word processors. Yeah, that I think it was my grandmother's typewriter. I mean, it was an old one, guys. It was probably from like the 40s. It had like the big swinging arms, and it took some damn force to make that thing type. Hey, thanks for the sub, Chris. Appreciate it. Haven't played any games yet. We're just talking about stuff. Yeah, I remember the one my dad had. It was like it had the ball that typed super fast. I think you could even, I don't know if that was his or somebody else's. I remember there was one that you could actually delete. Like it would, if you hit, it had a delete key, and I think it would like spread like whiteout tape on the paper. That was like their way of fighting computers, I guess. But yeah, I'm totally blocking it. So turn myself off here in a sec just to show it. If anybody hasn't seen it, it is festive in here virtually. I have my Street Fighter Christmas tree up from Street Fighter 3. Very festive. May play something eventually, but we're having fun talking about old stuff. My word processor had a whiteout cartridge. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing on those. Huh. Almost want to get one now to play with it. Don't tell Chet. I have, most of them are at my parents' house, but I have so many old computers, it's pretty disgusting. I think I have probably about every generation of Apple Mac possible. Not every computer, but I probably have a sample from every like processor that they've used. Give me more. Do you only play retro games, or do you have some modern games you like as well? Generally, when I stream, I just play retro stuff. I do play some modern games. I haven't really streamed them. I guess the modern one I play the most is Destiny 2. I've had it a while. I mean, it's a dying game, but I still like it. I do have a PS4, but I don't play it a whole lot. And mainly just lack of time. Like, I try to play modern stuff. My backlog literally starts at like the Xbox 360, so I still have games for that I haven't played. So it's like, I think about getting a PS5 or something, and I'm just like, why? It's like, why? By the time I get caught up, the PS6 will be out. But I did buy a new game recently that I do want to play, and I may stream it, and that's RoboCop. The new RoboCop game. That's probably my favorite movie of all time, so I was excited to see that they got, you know, the original RoboCop, Peter Weller. He does the voice in it, and they modeled it after him, and some of the other actors too. So I've heard it's good. I just haven't played it yet. And oh, it sounds, dude, that game is sick AF for real. Okay, cool. My man just bought a PS5 on Black Friday. I was tempted. It got down cheap. Don't really need one yet, but I kind of want to buy the old, like the small version just came out. I kind of want to buy the fat one while it still exists, because they're going to stop making those, and I like that design better. We'll see. I bought computer parts instead, but I may break down and get one. But then probably the PS5 Pro will come out next year, and I'll be mad. But I mainly play fighting games like Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom is my favorite. So this is actually, if you haven't seen it before on stream, well, it's weird that it's chroma keyed out. This is like my main controller. If I can orient everything properly. It's a PS4 joystick. Tweaked it a little bit, but it works on my computer and everything too. So that's mainly what I play with. Okay. Marcia B. Speaking of retro, my husband and I just watched Street Fighter the movie from the 90s. So corny, so good. I saw that in theaters. And that movie is insane. Yeah, arcade. I was really in the arcade, so I like arcade style games. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is a nice fight stick. It's for the money. I got that one like I don't know, I guess early PS4, so it wasn't too outrageous, and I upgraded some of the parts in it, so it's pretty cool. Does the job. I would like to try one of those really expensive ones to see if there's a difference, but they're also really expensive. So paying $300 for a fight stick's kind of crazy to me. We play those in the Yakuza games, where they're integrated as mini games. Yeah, I haven't actually played those games. I think I've got the whole collection on PS4. That's also on my backlog. They look fun. I just haven't played them. Let's see, carried out. There's a store near my house. Those old games back to Atari. The store has an arcade in it too. Yeah, so my brother works at a game store that's mostly retro stuff now. So he's a massive collector. He's got freaking all kinds of stuff. I got a lot of stuff too. I don't actively collect anymore. I kind of stopped about 10 years ago, so I got all my stuff when it was cheap. And he'll tell me like how much stuff goes for now, and it's crazy. Like there's stuff, I got for, a few bucks. It's like, 100 now for no reason. Just scarcity, I guess. But yeah, back to March, the Street Fighter the movie. That movie is hilarious. Like, if nobody's watched, if you haven't watched Street Fighter the movie, check it out just for Raul Julia. That was his final performance, unfortunately, but he gave his all, and like just an awful role, but he made it work. Your background's very fa la la la, finish him. Yeah, pretty much. Like, check out this cool Christmas scene. We're gonna beat the shit out of each other in front of it. I can't even remember off the top of my head. It's from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. But I mean, not Third Strike, Second Impact. The one I've played the least, so I can't remember whose stage that is. I think it's Ken's. Or maybe Alex. I'm not positive. It doesn't matter. Nobody plays Second Impact. But yeah, between my brother and I, gosh, we got so many old games. The craziest thing he got, I was messing with it past few times I've visited. He bought. I want to see if I can find a picture of it here because it's hard to describe. There was an arcade that was either, it may have been shutting down, or they were at least selling like all their old stuff. And this is, well, they would sell like these cabinet kits. Yeah, here we go. Found a picture of it. They would sell these kits where you could just, the arcade games, you could just swap in. Ooh, did not mean to do that. Sec. Here we go. They would sell these kits where you could swap the games out, almost like kind of like cartridges. They all use like a standard interface. But yeah, it's like this Atari Showcase. This is the exact same one he has here. I don't know. It's funny. Somebody's got the same game as him here. This is basically what he has. It's SNK versus Capcom. But he bought this freaking monster of a thing for $90, if I remember right. And he's got that in the basement. But I've messed with it a little. We need to refurbish it. Probably get to it eventually. Like, it needs like new controllers and stuff. And I tried to put in like one of those, like, 5001 game systems, but I miss it'll turn on, but you have to use it won't work with the stock controllers. Like, there's like all this adapter crap. I gotta just gut the thing and rewire it. So that's a project for later. But I'm pretty sure the one he has, I think we played on it as kids. I think it had Primal Rage. That was the fighting game with the dinosaurs and the apes. So at some point we actually put money in that thing and played it. Now he's got it. Here, yeah, gotta go to bed. Give hugs to Jen and the Gosling for me. All right, I thank you for hanging out. Good to talk to you. You have a good evening. Yeah, those I like those big pedestal cabinets like that in the arcades. That's usually where they put the big showcase games. Like, I definitely remember probably that exact same one because it's got the button layout. I think it had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo at one point. I definitely played it at that arcade. But I don't know. Now that we're talking about games, I might play something in a second here. Yeah. Pull up Retro Achievements and see. I don't even remember what I was doing before. I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom. I got going here. Children of the Atom. Over. Here we go. So yeah, I was using Retroachievements. Everybody probably knows at this point I did finally finish Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was the one I was the furthest along on, so I just wanted to finish it. So I've got 100% on that game. Thought about doing them all in order, like Children of the Atom. Sure what the achievements are on that one. That one I'm afraid to do on stream because that game is so hard at the end. You may just see me continuing on Magneto like 800 times. But Marvel 1 is doable. Seeing who I haven't beaten the game with. Lots of people. Beat it with Wolverine. Okay. Huh. All right, I got people. If somebody has anything else they want to talk about, I may do a playthrough of Marvel vs. Capcom and try to get those achievements, or I may just do one playthrough, see what I can get. That sounds good. So we can still chit chat and play at the same time. So if you're also not familiar with it, I do have kind of a retro system that I play everything on. I mean, a lot of this stuff I actually own, but it's just easier to have it on one device that's always plugged up. So I've got an old Dell Optiplex tower that I've swapped some parts into. Actually, when I upgrade my main computer, some of those parts are going to become hand-me-downs to this one, so it'll probably run stuff a little better. And it's basically like, I mean, I don't literally have every game, but I've got about every game that I want to play. Like, I've got a whole playlist of if I wanted to play like pretty much every Mario game start to finish, I've got them on here. Mario Kart and Marvel. This is probably my favorite series, so I've got all the games here, easy to get. I'm just gonna edit my Twitch category. Hopefully everything cooperates. I'm very afraid of this, everything breaking when I turn this on. Actually, while I'm talking, I think, so the computer I run it on, I think it doesn't run Windows. It runs a version of Linux called Batocera. I'm going to reboot it real quick because I think it's got some kind of memory leak. And the longer I leave it on, the worse the audio gets for it. So it'll actually like sound all garbled and terrible. I'm just going to reboot it to make sure it's playing nice. And it's going to totally undo everything I did with the screen size here. fancy startup for it. Exciting. So yeah, this is when I play old stuff, this is kind of what I got used to playing on. And that's how I got into the retro achievements. I played with those a long time ago. Of course, they're not going to come up now. But you can, if you have the right system and the right software, you can. It's kind of like achievements that you get on modern games. And they've programmed them to work with these old games, but the only hang up is you got to use the exact right software, like the right ROM, the right emulator. Most of it is easy to find if you're using something like this, but it's a little annoying sometimes. I've played a few games where it's like I totally beat them earlier, but I was playing on the wrong thing, so I didn't get any E credit for it. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to turn the game audio off so it's not blasting into the microphone here.
Capcom presents Marvel vs. Capcom.
That may be crazy loud. Let's see, so I haven't beat it with Oregon or Wolverine. So I'll play through this game pretty quick. This one's not a crazy long game. I'm not super up to date on this one. I haven't played this one in a while, so I'm rusty, but I think I know enough. I still make do. Almost. Oh. They caught me pushing buttons.
Wolverine wins.
Hope everybody's still here. I saw a little bit of a hiccup, but I think it's okay.
Wolverine wins.
Cool touch I like in a couple of these games when you do the team up supers, it combines the names. We got the Berserker Eraser then. Like a crazed person correcting a mistake on their paper.
Maximum level. Maximum level. Wolverine, win!
So hopefully, I'll at least, well, I'll definitely get at least one achievement by beating with either of these two characters.
Ready. Fight! First attack! Air combo! Level 2! Air combo! Level 1! Maximum level! Air combo! Marvelous! Level 2!
My computer did that, but okay. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's surprising. Okay. I'm just gonna jump around. All I wanted to do was get a super finish, but okay. I hate Gambit in these games when the computer has him, because it's like all he does is as I hit him. Goes through fireballs. Handy. Berserker Eraser. Bub.
Wolverine, win. It's now hot. Ready. Fight! Air combo. Air combo. Good. Air combo.
Let's go.
Maximum level. Duo team attack finish. KO. Wolverine, win.
Finish screen. Yeah, I love the flashiness of these games. The one... So, like, not all the games are technically called Marvel vs. Capcom. The one before this, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, has the craziest announcer in any of these fighting games ever. I love it. He just screams the whole time. That's actually how I found the game the first time. We went to an arcade, and I could just hear some machine screaming for us to play it, literally. And I was like, oh crap, I didn't know that was out. And it's very flashy like this one. So these are all like, when you get into these, it's not just Street Fighter characters, so... Damn. So Roll is from Mega Man. She's like his female counterpart. Hence why you have Mega Man helping her out. Got an achievement for beating Roll. I guess I haven't come across her yet. She should play Final Fantasy IX. I just saw that. I'm not into RPGs a ton. My brother really is. I definitely saw him play Final Fantasy IX. Like, they're okay to watch. I don't really get into them. But I have thought about... Like, it seems like they're getting popular on Twitch again for some reason. The only RPG that I really liked is Lunar, or Lunar, however you say it. It's on the Sega CD, and it was released a few more times, like for the PS1, Saturn, and stuff. I really like that one. I guess that was like the first, like... Well, the first RPG I remember that had, you know, cutscenes. It's not overly complicated, so it's right up my alley. And I did get the remake of Mario, Super Mario RPG. I think I've played that one, and I say that like I don't know because I may have only watched my brother play it, but I've watched it enough to know, like, I know what's up. But yeah, he was more into the RPGs. I like the more arcadey games. The games you could just like whip through pretty quick and just keep playing over and over.
Wolverine, win.
Fallout. Yeah, I actually watched him play Fallout for a bit. That one looked fun. I just never tried it. I kind of like the faster paced games where I'm like clicking stuff. So fighting games, Mega Man, that kind of stuff. Arcadey games. Gotta have that dopamine. Yeah, Mega Man 1 and 2 are burned in my brain. I can beat those pretty... I mean, I'm not a speed runner or anything, but I can beat those pretty I wouldn't say easily, but reliably. You're shooting shit, dude. Am I not doing this move right? Oh, there we go. It's freaking eye beams, man. Man, quit shooting. Get down here where I can fight you, man. Oops, that was a mistake. Well, I guess we're beating it with Wolverine.
Wolverine, win.
Yeah, I've heard the Dr. Wily theme. It's been covered by so many nerd bands, but it's cool. For the ending. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Onslaught, he's an actual Marvel character, actually created by Rob Liefeld, or Liefeld, however you say his name. Same guy that created Deadpool. So it was kind of his thing. He made like a Heroes Reborn storyline that made all these weird versions of some of the Marvel characters. It was started with Onslaught. It's like Professor X and Magneto combined. It was kind of dumb, but Onslaught looked cool, so I'll give him that.
Game over.
I got first place against myself. There's nobody else playing this. More of a Zelda addict myself, although I'm still pissed about Tears of the Kingdom having such a crap story. That stinks. I really liked... I'm not super into Zelda. I actually like Zelda 2 a lot, which is kind of sacrilege, I think, but... again, my brother was really into Zelda, so I've played, I guess...
Capcom presents
all the 2D ones. I haven't played any of the... Like, once it hit N64, I was out, but, I did play Breath of the Wild. Jen and I were both playing that. That one's really fun, and the only reason we haven't finished it is I'm gonna turn this off so this sound's not screaming. The only reason we didn't finish Breath of the Wild was we had it on the Wii U, and the controller, I think it was like the right trigger broke, and you had to have that button to shoot the arrows or something. So I did recently fix it, but it's been so long since we played the game, we haven't picked it back up. I would like to finish it though, because we were pretty far along. I think we're like to the point where you have to just level up to fight Ganon. We didn't lack much of it, and but then we got a switch while the thing was broken. So as far as I know, there wasn't a way to transfer that save file over, and never finished it. Funny enough, I actually do have so this machine I have running here, so I can find it. Don't tell anybody, but it's got Switch. So yeah, I've got some of the Switch stuff emulated. I believe if you have a legit copy of at least of the Wii U, you can convert your Wii U save files over to run on the emulator. So I thought about doing that, because I mean, I guess I could just turn the Wii U on. I hooked it back up, but I need to finish that game, and I don't really want to start Tears of the Kingdom until I beat the first one. But we do play the actual Switch some too. We got what was it? Lexi got all A's, so we got Super Mario Wonder, and that's been pretty fun. Which we're not very far in that. We need to, maybe this weekend we can play it some more. But yeah, I've got like, and most of the stuff I have legit. I just, it's just cool having it all on right here. I can get it, because freaking Wii U, man, the Wii U died a very fast and horrible death. I have all of these games on disc, because they were so cheap. Like, I got it right when the system tanked. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. It was something from GameStop. I think it was like a Black Friday deal a few years ago. I got the Wii U, and I think it came with like somewhere like 5 or 7 games. So it was like, I got that and like all these games for $100. It was crazy. Definitely before inflation. But yeah, I got all kinds of stuff on here. There's a lot of stuff I haven't played. And yeah, you can run, I haven't messed with it much. I mean, I actually have a 360, and actually, I mean, like, I've got Dead or Alive 4. I think I was just testing it. But yeah, you can emulate 360 and PS3 now. So that's the thing. I don't really do that unless I'm going to stream something. Although I mean, literally, I do still have my PS3 and 360. They're on a shelf over here. So sometimes I'll use those for the game channel or streaming. Let me look here. Not plugged up to anything. I might be able to grab it. It's heavy. So I've got one of the early PS3s, and you see the fingerprints on that thing hardcore in the light. But this is one of the fat ones, and this is one of the last ones that was backwards compatible. So it's kind of like having a PS1, 2, and 3 all on my shelf. That's something I'm glad to have. I actually had to pay to have that thing fixed a few years ago. I forget, there's a whole boring story. I think like a lot of electronics made in the mid 2000s, they had subpar solder and a lot of stuff. I think that was a big reason why the 360s, not the only reason, but that was a big problem with the 360, why it was so prone to failure. And some of the MacBooks at the time too, like I think the GPU would come loose. So it would happen to the PS3 and it happened to mine. So I actually sent it off to a guy that got like one of those micro solder stations and like redid all the connections. Supposedly, I honestly thought he stole the thing. It's like, I think it was an eBay store. You paid the dude to rebuild your PS3, mailed it to him. I mailed it. No communication, no nothing. And I even like sent an email like, "Hey man, what's going on?" Nothing. And I was just like, it was months. It may have been up to 6 months. I was like, well, I just paid a dude to steal my PS3. And then one day I got a package out of nowhere. I'm like, I didn't order anything. And my PS3 was in it and it was working. And I was like, well, holy shit. So thankfully I got it back. And yeah, give me more. The Red Ring of Death. Oh my God. I had more red rings probably than anybody I know, because 360 they came out at the perfect time when I actually had time for games, at least on the weekends. And well, I say that honestly, I didn't play the thing that much. That's what's crazy. I got a launch system. It actually red ringed early. Like I only had it for like a year, and that was before they had the free program. So I actually had to pay to get that one fixed. And as it was getting fixed, after I'd already paid, they announced that they were going to do it for free. So I got a refund, and I mean, whatever, that was cool. But that system, I still have it, or at least, what they replaced it with. That thing red ringed like 4 times. I kept sending it back. Probably once a year up until the warranty. I think they gave it like a 3-year extended warranty until that ran out and it red ringed again. And I remember being so furious because it was the day Halo 3 came out. I'd stayed up the night before playing Gears of War 1 or 2, whichever one was out at the time. I guess the first one. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play Gears and get that out of my system, because I was gonna be all about Halo 3 once that's out. So I stayed up late, played that, and then went to work the next day. Went by like Best Buy or wherever the next day, and picked up Halo 3. It was actually hard to find, like nobody had it. And so I got Halo 3, came back home, and I put it in, and when I turned it on, like the game started and everything, but everything was like purple. It's like, I mean, kind of like my activity window up here. It was like that purple green thing, like that kind of synthwave looking aesthetic, but nobody was doing it at the time. And I'm like, and I remember turning it on. I'm like, why did they do that with the logo? That's weird. Are they trying to do some 80s retro thing? And then as the game started going, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, the colors are all fucked up. And then I realized the graphics card was screwed up. Like it had probably the graphics card was probably overheating. Once I realized, I've seen that happen before. And so yeah, that was my original 360. It died when I put Halo 3 in, and I couldn't play the damn thing, and it was out of warranty, and I would have had to have paid to get the thing fixed. So I was so mad, and I'm like, damn it. So I just bought an Xbox Elite, because I was going to do it anyway, because those launch 360s didn't have HDMI. So begrudgingly, I bought the damn thing. And that one worked for a while, but eventually my Elite red ringed, I think twice. And I got it replaced every time for free. And the last time it died was right before the warranty went out. I actually still have that one. I'm surprised it still works, although I think the DVD drive's about the crap out on it. But I do have yet another 360. I've got the one I've probably used the most. It's the can't pull it out. It's got cables all over it, but it's the last of the fat ones they made. And I always thought the slim ones were supposed to be the most reliable, but actually, from what I read, the last generation of the fat 360 is the most reliable. So that's what I have, and it's been working, and I hope it keeps working, because as much as I hate how that stupid system died on me, like, it does have a lot of my favorite games on it. I didn't always have time to play it, but when I did, I played the hell out of it. I've even got the steering wheel. I played Forza a lot. Like, I did the actual, like, you know, marathon races. Yeah, luckily all our consoles are working flawlessly, just the Switch USB controllers. Yeah, I mean, between my brother and I, we have almost every console ever made, and honestly, out of all of them, the 360 is the only one that's really problematic. Trying to think of other ones. I mean, I guess a common thing that'll happen. I do have a 3DO, which I got, like, and it wasn't new because those things were outrageous, but I got it when the stores were clearing them out. My 3DO, the DVD drive quit working on it, but it still boots up, so I may repair that one down the line, just for fun, because nobody cares about 3DO. Trying to think. I don't think we've had any other ones break. I think I've got a Jaguar, but I don't even think I've even played the damn thing. I think I got it as a collector's item. It's I mean, it's used, but it's got the box and everything, so I just bought it and put it on the shelf. I never turned it on, but I assume it works. I know the guy I got it from. That kind of worked out, because when I was big into collecting, like, I was more about getting all the, I guess, sampling all the stuff I really liked. So I got, mainly I collected the systems, and I would get, like, you know, the handful of games that I wanted to play, not just collect. And so for most systems, that really wasn't that many. And and my brother, he was more into the games, so, like, I've got a ton of systems and he's got a ton of games, so between the two of us, we've got a whole crap ton. Just a gem. We refurbished a PSP recently to play all the cartridges we had. Oh yeah, that's right. I guess those things, I didn't have, my brother had a PSP. I don't have a PSP. The UMD drive, I think those things were kind of prone to failure. I think they would actually, like, something like this. In some cases, the spring would get loose and they would just, like, launch out of it. I remember seeing videos. I do have a PS Vita. That's been one of my favorite handhelds. Had a lot of games on it I liked, and then, you know, as it faded away and died, the homebrew scene kept that one alive. So I modded my Vita, so it's almost like this computer here. I've got a lot of retro stuff on it, and I've installed a lot of the games to the SD card. Actually, look, I was just thinking, I still have the thing here. So, yeah, or if it's charged thing. So yeah, I've still got my Vita in the little case, keep it in. just over here at my desk. So it was funny when we went to London the last time. So I've got a Steam Deck now. That's kind of what I play my PC games on. Few that I have. So the Steam Deck's pretty. Actually, let me compare the two. Steam Deck's a kind of a big boy and very expensive. So yeah, I was looking at the two. Yeah, Steam Deck, PSP. Almost packed the Steam Deck on my carry-on, and I was like, no way, that thing's huge, and the battery's going to last like 2 hours, and you need a beast of a brick to charge it. So I ended up taking my Vita with me on the airplane, and that was a good choice because it's got Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and all the retro games I need. But you can also, when you mod these things, you can install the PSP OS and play all the PSP games on it too. You just have to, use the 7 Cs to acquire them. Actually, even a little more rare, related to the Vita. Funny, I got this thing sitting over here too. I was doing something with it. I got this thing for stupid cheap, and they're outrageous now. I've got the this is the PlayStation TV. So this is like a Vita that they crammed in a little box, and you pair like a DualShock 3 or 4 to it, and just you can play all the Vita games on it. Just pop it open on the side here, and I wonder what's in it. And you can put the Vita game like right in it. So I was playing Street Fighter Cross Tekken on it last, apparently. But these things are cool. They are outrageously expensive now. If I had known that was going to happen, I would have bought more, because I wait until a system's like dying and I'll buy it. And Amazon was clearing these out for $20, and now they go for like 120 or more. But that one's modded too, but I don't really do much with it. I used to have it hooked up to the TV in the other room, but it also has remote play on it too. So I think we had it hooked up. Yeah, we had it hooked up on one of the other TVs when we were playing PS4 a lot. And so I would use that so we could play PS4 on the upstairs TV versus the downstairs TV. But again, they're outrageously expensive now. I don't recommend getting one unless you can go back in time and get it for $20. But I've gotten a few systems like that. Like the 3DO I mentioned before. I mean, that thing was like $700 or whatever, $500 when it came out in early 90s. Like, I didn't do enough chores to pay for that. I got it as the thing was like being cleared out. I think I got some bundle from Software Etc. I think it was like $150 for the system and like 5 games or something. So for what it was, but it was not worth that money. But it did have probably the best home version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, so it had that going for it. I did have that. I think that was one of the few games I actually bought full price for. But yeah, so that's my nerd shit. I think some ads are about to roll on Twitch, so I'm gonna do a thing or two right here. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll come right back. One sec, I'll be right back.
We will return after these messages.
Hey, what's all the fuss, Penguin? Expecting company?
Oh, yes. The lucky winners of the post-serial SeaWorld sweepstakes.
You could win a trip to SeaWorld when you enter the sweepstakes on the free poster of Shamu inside specially marked boxes of honeycomb and super golden crisp cereal. Winners get to meet Shamu, and all the winter get SeaWorld stickers. Details on specially marked boxes. Odds of winning determined by entries received. For free entry, write Post P.O. Box 853A, Churchill, Maryland 21690. Maybe you'll win.
so juicy.
Twizzlers make me very happy.
Twizzlers make your mouth so very happy.
Oh, so happy.
Milk it does.
Milk does body.
Milk it does a body good.
Pass it on.
Check it out.
It's so cool for hanging out. It helps you grow up big and tall.
It's good for teeth.
And that's not all.
It does. Hey, Mr. Moo, what do you say?
Fresh moo juice makes my day.
Milk, it does the body good.
Pass it on.
Milk it does.
Milk it does a body.
Milk it does a body good.
Pass it on. Pass it on.
The night starts ordinary with forever friends. It's extraordinary. Here's Bushy Tail, Cozy Tail, and Snowy Tail too.
Okay, I'm back. Gotta be late. It's not super late. It's almost midnight. It's about time to get off. Luckily, I don't have to get into. I don't start work early. Well, I say that I do have to start early tomorrow, and I'm taking the kid to school. So, yeah, maybe it is late. Not super late. Three disembodied mouths fawning over a lengthy object is exactly what I need at 6 a.m. after Insomniac night. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, all the commercials in the 80s, well, in the 90s too, like, are just batshit insane. I need to go, I have more tapes. I need to convert those, put them online. That's actually the first stuff I put on YouTube. I think all these commercials, like, I mean, it's not like I made the freaking things, but I did record them off TV when I was a kid. I think I was playing baseball, so I had to record my Saturday morning cartoons. So these are probably, if I had to guess, they're anywhere from like 1987 to 89. I think I looked one time and figured it out, and it's somewhere in that time frame. But not long ago, my brother found more, so he stacked them up. He's definitely got some 90s commercials, and there's some funny ones in there. Let's see, 6 hours back, East Coast. Yes, I'm Florida man. But without the bath salts. I'm not going to eat anybody. Probably do need to log off shortly. Getting late. And no gators on my carry-on luggage. Nah. The way I get stopped, you'd think there were. You're 6. So give me more. You're in Germany, correct? Then just a Jen. Just a Jen. Are you in the UK? I can't remember. That's cool. I've always wanted to visit Germany. Most of my family, well, at least my dad's side's German descent. I think Jen's family too. A lot of German. Always wanted to visit. I almost took German in college, but it was too early, so I took Japanese. Okay, that's right. Yeah, just a Jen. You're in California. That's cool. Some of my family lived in California. They've all moved now. I think they were in Taft a long time ago, and then Tascadero and San Luis Obispo for the rest. Yeah, one of my roommates from grad school, yeah, he lives outside of LA. He lives in Orange County. Trying to remember. Fountain City. That sound right? Like Koreatown, I guess. What he referred to it as. Yeah, he actually that's why I flew in 2008. He finished his stuff. We were in grad school together. He was in DC finishing his stuff up, and he met me down in Virginia, and we drove Fountain Valley. That's it, Fountain Valley. That's where it was. But yeah, he met me in Virginia, and we drove nonstop from Virginia to Vegas at his brother's place. And God, we did that so fast. I don't know how long it's normally supposed to take, but we did it in like 37 hours, I believe. Like pretty much, we only stopped like for gas and food. I even used one of those truck stop showers at one point because his AC died, and I was just so disgusting. I was like, man, I gotta take a shower. Yeah, German's probably not as different from English as Japanese. Like, I took Spanish in high school. That wasn't, it's basically just converting everything. There isn't enough Europe for a 37 drive. That's true. Yeah, but then we went from Vegas to Fountain Valley, and I stayed there for like a week, hung out. It was cool. Very hot, but not as humid as over here, so much more comfortable. Yeah, that's actually what it was. It was a Flying J truck stop shower. I was telling that story not long ago. They clearly had prices to pay to use the shower, and I don't know if it's because we got gas or what. I remember I was like, "Hey, can I use the shower?" And they're like, "Yeah, right over there." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "How much?" And they're like, "Don't worry about it." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's weird." And then as I'm in there, I'm like, "I hope I'm not getting filmed." I know a bit of Japanese. Look how simple their grammar is, especially the verbs. Yeah, it's like it's simple and complicated at the same time. Like, I guess because of all the levels of politeness. But yeah, it's a very compact language. A lot of there's a lot of context involved. The same thing can mean very different things depending on when and how you say it. Yeah, I may have paid the price that I'm not aware of using that stupid shower. Yeah, all the nuances of Japanese. It's so hard. I was always much better at reading and writing versus talking. Yeah, the kanji is hard. I've forgotten. I mean, I still remember some of it, but God, I took that class like I took 2 years of it. I took 2 years of it, but that was also 20 years ago. So if I start, if I start using it, like I've had a couple of coworkers, not close, but in the same company that I'd cross paths with that were Japanese, and I'd bust that out, and they'd be like, "What?" They'd be like, "What the fuck? How are you? Out of all people, how's it coming out of you?" Yeah, I'd kind of get that look, and it would come back, and sometimes I mean, there's a lot of Japanese streamers on Twitch now too. I'll watch them, and it's kind of fun. I mean, when I say Japanese, I mean they're streaming totally in Japanese, so I'll listen to it a little bit just to see if it comes back to me. Because honestly, the plan, I was gonna travel there and spend some time there, and it just never worked out. A bunch of my friends did; they loved it. I probably still will eventually. I've talked about it with Jen. I'd like to go spend 2 weeks traveling around Japan or more, and if we do that, I would definitely want to brush up on my language. I was never fluent, but I could definitely survive. I'm pretty sure that, at my peak, I probably knew about 200 kanji at least. I'm just grateful for any language that doesn't throw pages and pages of irregular verbs at you. I had English, Latin, and French in high school. But yeah, I mean, I feel like most Americans can't speak English that well. I mean, it's a confusing ass language. Because we would pair up with Japanese students too, and like help them with their English. And yeah, it's like trying to explain, homonyms and stuff like that. It's just like, what? Oh, Marcia, you totally should. I used to be a Japan Airlines flight attendant, and it was awesome to be able to travel to and from Tokyo. That's awesome. Yeah. Being on the East Coast of the U.S. it makes it such a long ass trip. That's really the main barrier, counting for the travel time and be able to spend time there. Over on Twitch, just Jen. Neither of us is even familiar with Japanese. That's one thing I've heard though. You can pretty much go over, and if you speak English, a lot of times you're going to find somebody that speaks English. I think they generally teach English in most of their schools there, and that's actually, I think the majority of my friends that spent time in Japan, they didn't know Japanese. They just went as English teachers. So they I think they all taught it like middle schools or something. And actually, yeah, one guy I know, he was in my Japanese class. Well, two of them. I take that back. Two of them took Japanese with me. And a couple other ones, yeah, they knew zero. They yeah, they just went there and taught. And I guess everybody spoke enough English that they just had to show up and talk to the students in English. When flies fly after flies, flies fly after flies. Yeah, I mean shit like that. I mean English is English is so weird. Like even our kid, what was, can't remember. There was some homonym words and she hadn't heard one, whatever it was, I can't remember. I had to explain to her, it's like, yeah, it's it's like fly and fly, like it's the same word but it means two different things. Like one's a bug, one's a verb. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with a lot of countries, you don't really have to. You can almost get by without knowing the language. I mean, hell, even worst case, your phone. I've seen people do that here in the U.S. Like, what was it? I got like a DoorDash or something not long ago, and the guy couldn't speak any English, so he was talking to me through his phone translator, and I was like, all right, well, whatever works. But it is midnight, after midnight here, so I've officially turned into a pumpkin. I need to get in bed. So thanks everybody for hanging out. I'll try to do this more often. This was fun. Hopefully it was glitch free. Nobody mentioned much about the stream screwing up again. Over on YouTube, the German word for six is homonym to sex, just spelled really six. That's funny. So that was a joke in National Lampoon's European Vacation, but I didn't realize it was like that literal. I thought it was just like six and sex sounded the same. So that was fun. So yeah, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out. Over on the Twitch side, I am going to do a raid. So I'm going to send whoever's left over to Zofar. He is playing an RPG that is what is it? Phantasy Star 2 on the Master System, I believe. So I will send you to him. He's cool. He's actually very important to the emulation scene. He ran one of the websites back in the day. So I'll send you to him. And everybody else, well, I guess I don't have enough people to raid him. So I go, all right, get the raid. We don't need a raid. But thank you everybody for hanging out. And I will try to make this a more regular thing. And, well, yeah, one last thing. Sorry. Saying I'm done. I want to try something out. I haven't done this yet. Let's see here. I can run end credits on my stream. I'm not totally certain what it does. Let me flip it on here. I just want to see what it says, and then we'll probably turn it off there. Well, if the website will load. I think part of my problem is that I've run out of memory on this computer. Even though I have quite a bit, I think I've got 32 gigs on it, but I've just got too much going on. So I've actually ordered, this thing can hold 128 gigs of RAM. I probably won't, well, I may fill it up all the way just to see if that's enough. Okay, this website's not wanting to load. Okay, screw it. All right. Rather than run credits, thanks everybody that gave a super chat or just chatted, just hanging out. That means a lot. You know, the more people watch, the more I can do this. And hey, it was fun. I like playing games. I like talking with everybody. Hey, we got to have lots of nostalgia over old computing devices and typewriters. So let's do it again sometime. Good night, everybody.